Hi, this is Derek. I wanted to do a video here. I love awards season. I love when Hollywood gets together to pat themselves on the back. They don't get enough credit, obviously, and for whatever reason, the be all end all of this whole awards season is always the Academy Awards, the Oscars. Always a big deal. Always kind of different. Opinions on when the nominations come. But yeah, I mean, some people just enjoy them, like, oh, good, so and so got nominated. For other people, maybe it's a different story. Maybe reactions to the Oscar nominations, not too unlike the grieving process, where first we'll have denial, like Jake Gyllenhaal. I didn't hear his name. There must have been a mistake. They're going to make an announcement later. They'll say that he was nominated. Some kind of recount. They'll say his name. Then, of course, we'll have anger. Those fuckers, those Academy snobs. They're always fucking doing this stuff. Those motherfuckers. They're always snubbing all the same people. Why can't they get something right? Why can't they align with my opinion? I've lost faith in the Oscars. That's what you'll always hear. I've lost faith in the Oscars. Never gonna watch again. You'll hear that a lot too. But then bargaining. Okay, well, they screwed up, but I'll still watch. I'll still watch, but they're on thin ice, the Academy. If they mess up next year, I swear I'll never watch again, which everyone says every year. Then, of course, there's acceptance. These are the Oscar nominations. These are what we have for the selected best achievements of 2014. And I thought, on the whole, we had a good amount of nominated films, performances, achievements, things like that. But of course, they're never going to align completely with your opinions. There's some pretty big snubs this year, I thought, which are being called out on, which, fair enough. But I thought I'd talk about some of the nominations, not all of them, but just kind of go through some of the bigger categories here. So I have a little cheat sheet here, so I thought I'd go over probably first one. Let's talk about the screenplays a little bit. Original screenplay, we have Boyhood, written by Richard Linklater. We have Birdman, Foxcatcher, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Nightcrawler. So a good selection here. It's kind of interesting to me, like if you've seen my best of 2014 video, I'm very much on Team Foxcatcher. And I could have sworn it was based on Mark Schultz's book, so I'm curious as to why it's in this category here. Maybe because Mark Schultz, the real person, he went on Twitter, he got really aggravated, saying it has nothing to do with his real life, and maybe they just submitted that as original, I guess. But whatever. I mean, definitely, Birdman is quite a good achievement as well. Boyhood, probably, the front runner here. This is not going to be like well, no, maybe Birdman and Boyhood are kind of two, but this isn't going to be like a predictions kind of thing, just kind of my thoughts on it. But I thought it was great that we got Dan Gilroy nominated for not Foxcatcher, for Nightcrawler, which again a great movie. This would be the single award that this film was nominated for, which I know has upset a lot of people. It was snubbed in quite a few categories. I mean, I could have thought of a few different categories they could have nominated it in, but I think the screenplay, it's a victory. He always kind of, Dan Gilroy, first time filmmaker, first screenplay as far as I know, so it's a good achievement. He should be quite proud that his movie got recognized, at least in that sense. Sometimes they'll do that. They'll nudge over movies just for their writing, which is nice too. So we also have the adapted screenplays. We have American Sniper. We have Inherent Vice. Paul Thomas Anderson, always a celebrated writer, always seems to find himself in this category, if nowhere else. We have The Imitation Game. We have The Theory of Everything and Whiplash, which is pretty cool. Whiplash actually got a lot of nominations too. Damien Chazelle, he directed the film, also wrote it. Wasn't nominated for director, but again, it's a nice achievement that they would recognize the writing for it. So pretty good screenplay categories here. Probably the biggest surprise was Inherent Vice. It wasn't getting that much buzz. I think this is the only nomination the movie got. So I mean, at least he got something. PTA, he's always awesome, right? So it'd be nice to see him on the roster. I don't think you know he's the kind of director who's like, oh, I need to win all these awards or anything like that. But whatever. It's good to have him there. So what else? Editing. Editing, I think, is a very important award. You know, without editing, there's no movie, or a good movie can turn into a shitty movie with bad editing. It's a very important award. Usually, it does align with the movies that are favored for Best Picture. So I would imagine that on the list of best edited films would be the winner. I would imagine so. So on that list we have Boyhood, we have The Imitation Game, we have Grand Budapest Hotel, which is kind of cool. That they could have got any number of movies, but I love that Grand Budapest Hotel is in there. Whiplash, again, another pleasant surprise, and American Sniper. When they're doing the nominations, it was kind of at this point, where you start kind of realizing, hey, American Sniper is getting a lot of love. You think it'll be nominated for Best Picture? Well, it was. So there's that. So I would say that among those five, the Best Picture has to be, among them. So good editing, I would say. I mean, Boyhood, absolutely a unique achievement in filmmaking in general, but also editing. I mean, you got. I didn't write down the name of the editor. Well, I should have. That's shitty of me. But think of all over 12 years, filmmaking has changed, editing has changed as well. He has all this footage, so he has to edit together somehow. And if there's something important missing, I mean, you can't really edit one shot and one scene together if it doesn't work. If it's, you can't fucking go back and reshoot. Like, Doc Brown is there, whatever. But whatever. Other categories, let's see here. Best Supporting Actress, we have Patricia Arquette in Boyhood. We have Laura Dern in Wild. Keira Knightley, The Imitation Game. Emma Stone in Birdman, and Meryl Streep in Into the Woods. Fine selection of actresses here. I was shocked that Meryl Streep was nominated. She never... They always forget her. No, I mean, that's kind of a thing of criticism too. But she's Meryl Streep. I mean, honestly, you make the joke where she's like, oh, Meryl Streep could just, fart for 2 hours, do nothing else. She'll get nominated. Well, she's Meryl Streep. I haven't seen the movie, but whatever. She's Meryl Streep. It's good to have her there. They'll probably make jokes about her about that. Will she win? I don't know. Great to see Emma Stone there. She this is her first nomination, and I had recently seen Birdman. I thought she was excellent in it. Give a younger actress in there. The other actresses are there quite a bit older. I mean, everyone else in this list is 40 and above, except for Emma Stone. So get the younger demographic to watch the awards show maybe. But I think it was a really good performance. So I think she deserved the nomination. And I haven't seen Imitation Game, so I hear Keira Knightley was really good in it. Probably the biggest surprise was Laura Dern from Wild. Laura Dern, she's, I think she's not really recognized as one of the best actresses still working. She really is. I mean, last time we saw her nominated was, I guess it was Rambling Rose, but that was like fucking 25 years ago. So it's nice to see her nominated. A lot of people were like, hey, maybe Inland Empire, she'll get a nomination. She didn't, but I think this maybe might have been making up for that. Maybe. Patricia Arquette, again, an actress who's just always been around, ever since fucking Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I've always loved seeing her in movies, so really great to see her recognized, and she seems to be possibly the front runner for this year. I'm not quite sure where the buzz is, but I mean, definitely, as she evolved as an actress, her performance shined in the movie. Best Supporting Actor, we have Robert Duvall for The Judge, Ethan Hawke for Boyhood, Edward Norton for Birdman, Mark Ruffalo for Foxcatcher, and J.K. Simmons for Whiplash. A great assortment here. A lot of people were wondering if Robert Duvall would make the final cut, but he's a legend Robert Duvall. Uh, I'm very happy that he's on this list. Again, I didn't see The Judge. That'd be the only nomination this movie got. I guess the only thing worthy of nominating was Duvall and his performance. I think he was nominated for Civil Action too, where it's like he's graduated from a lawyer to a judge, which is good. Good for you, Robert Duvall. But it'll be great to see him there. You know, recognize this legend for who he is, still working. And by the way, he was really snubbed for Get Low. So again, I think they're kind of making up for mistakes of the past. So why not, right? Ethan Hawke, great in Boyhood. Again, much like Patricia Arquette, we see, you know, as they evolve as actors and as people. It's interesting to see on screen, and I think it really, you know, displays in the performance. Really good stuff. And of course, I loved Mark Ruffalo's performance, much like Carell's. Very subtle of a performance, very kind of cerebral kind of performance, an internal performance. I think it's absolutely great that he was recognized, because he wasn't. I mean, I don't think anyone expects him to win, but the fact that they recognized him, I think is very much a victory for a movie that I love, Foxcatcher. Who else we got? Edward Norton. Holy shit, he's fucking amazing in Birdman. He is a fucking force to be reckoned with in Birdman. This guy, I mean, his career has been so amazing. He hasn't been on a list of nominated actors since American History X for Best Actor. So this is kind of like a little bit of a comeback for Edward Norton, who's had some kind of pitfalls in his career. He stars with Naomi Watts in Birdman, but did you see him in the Painted Veil? Wow, never do a British accent ever again. Edward Norton, jeez, don't watch that movie. Nah, it was okay. Good for you, Edward Norton. Who else? I don't know. J.K. Simmons, who's pretty much this is his award to lose at this point. I mean, everyone can pretty much agree on that. If there's any surefire lock this year, J.K. Simmons. So yeah, Best Actress, we have Marion Cotillard, 2 Days, One Night, Felicity Jones, The Theory of Everything, Rosamund Pike, Gone Girl, Julianne Moore, Still Alice, and Reese Witherspoon in Wild. I've seen one of these movies, Gone Girl. Rosamund Pike, brilliant. I would hope she wins, but I don't have a reference point. It might be, you know, kind of, this might be Julianne Moore's year. Like, you know, she's one of the best actresses working today too, and she's never won an Oscar. What the fuck? Boogie Nights, Magnolia, she's great. Far From Heaven, God knows what else. The Hours, just, you know, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Maybe this will be her year. I don't know. It was nice that Reese Witherspoon was recognized as well. And Marion Cotillard, always a reliable choice. If she's French, she's got to be a good actress, right? Felicity Jones, Theory of Everything. That was kind of a surprise. I mean, it's kind of a companion picture where we have Eddie Redmayne and Felicity Jones as, you know, the love story couple, which I haven't seen the movie, but they seem to be from what I hear, they have good chemistry together. Best Actor, we have Steve Carell in Foxcatcher. We have Benedict Cumberbatch for The Imitation Game, Bradley Cooper for American Sniper, Michael Keaton for Birdman, Eddie Redmayne for The Theory of Everything. Steve Carell, I was worried that he wouldn't get a nomination. Again, who knows if he'll win, but I think the nomination itself is absolutely a triumph for this performance. I'm so happy that they nominated his excellent performance. Just so amazing, I thought. And Michael fucking Keaton, absolutely phenomenal in Birdman. Such a great performance. I haven't seen Imitation Game. I haven't seen Theory of Everything. I haven't seen American Sniper either. But yeah, I mean, maybe Bradley Cooper was kind of a surprise too, because he wasn't getting too many of the precursors. But the Academy, you know, always seems to nominate him. He didn't seem too much of a shoo-in for American Hustle or Silver Linings Playbook. But again, he kind of went the extra mile. Yeah, I think it's important for him to be nominated because he is, among all these actors, he is a movie star, which, Benedict Cumberbatch, he's British. Whatever. Eddie Redmayne, also British. Steve Carell, more of a comedic actor, so this is kind of one of those roles, comedic, a serious turn for comedic actor. So, I don't know. Out of all the Michael Keaton, I don't know. Just kind of like they want to kind of peg him as this classical movie star, like a Cary Grant kind of character, kind of guy, maybe. But I'm sure the performance is good. But I probably could have named a few others that I would have liked to see. We'll get that in a second. Best Director, Richard Linklater for Boyhood, Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu for Birdman, or The Expected Virtue of Ignorance. Bennett Miller, awesome that he got nominated for Foxcatcher. Wes Anderson, awesome for Grand Budapest Hotel. And a British person for The Imitation Game. Finally, Wes Anderson gets a little bit of love. I mean, he's always kind of been in that screenplay niche, never in the Best Director category. So absolutely thrilled that he got nominated. As I mentioned in my Best of 2014 video, I think Dan Futterman, he has emerged. I'm sorry. Not Dan Futterman, he wrote the movie. Bennett Miller, he's kind of emerged as one of the best American filmmakers, so good on him for getting a nomination. Meanwhile, the movie wasn't nominated. So here are the nominations for Best Picture of the Year of 2014. We have American Sniper. We have Birdman, Boyhood, The Imitation Game, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Selma, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash. Very good assortment. You'll notice there's only 8 here. So instead of movies like Foxcatcher, instead of movies like Nightcrawler, instead of movies like Gone Girl, they nominated nothing. Why have this category? Why have 10 slots when you're not going to fill them? It makes no sense to me. I don't care what rule that you can explain to me for the Academy voting process. It's a waste. Either put it back to 5 or nominate 10. For serious. But, good movies here. Again, American Sniper was kind of a surprise, as was Bradley Cooper. Haven't seen it, but maybe we need something a little bit more conservative on the list. Kind of a contemporary type of movie, which I've heard it's very good. Birdman, I saw this shortly after I did a list of best 2014 movies. I would have to reevaluate that list because this movie is fucking incredible. Absolutely, it's a religious experience. This movie, out of all the movies here, I would want Birdman to win actually, since Foxcatcher wasn't nominated. Boyhood, very good film, a unique achievement. Imitation Game I haven't seen. Grand Budapest Hotel, lovely film. Again, Wes Anderson gets his finally a movie. We thought maybe Moonrise Kingdom would have been nominated. It wasn't. Meanwhile, they left the slot open yet again. I don't know why they do that. But yeah, it's awesome. Wes Anderson produced it. Also on the producers listed, Scott Rudin. If that name sounds familiar, maybe you read some emails from him. An interesting thing about American Sniper, Bradley Cooper was a producer on the film, so he's nominated as producer as well. So maybe he's shaping up to be kind of a new George Clooney, maybe. Whiplash, a very pleasant surprise, a great film. If any kind of tinier movie got a lot of love that really deserved it, it was Whiplash. I'm so happy that it was nominated. Selma, well, on the producers, we have Oprah. Fucking Oprah is an Oscar-nominated producer, and that's pretty cool. Theory of Everything, again, I haven't seen Selma either. I think it's a good assortment of movies. Again, there are some omissions, but I think we have an interesting array of nominated films here. A little jumbled. I mean, Selma, meanwhile, it has 2 one for Best Picture, 1 for Best Song. I mean, what's with that? We have Foxcatcher with all these nominations, screenplay, directing, acting. No Best Picture. Why? Whatever. Let's talk about snubs, let's say. A lot of people have noted about Lego Movie not nominated for Best Animated Feature. Kind of upset people, but it was nominated for the song "Everything Is Awesome," which everyone loves that song. There was a period where everyone was fucking singing that song, and it was aggravating. Um, Ava DuVernay was not nominated. You would think they would nominate the black female, and that's kind of a point of controversy. You see a lot of white people nominated this year, which maybe the Academy thought, oh, we nominated the slavery, or we awarded, we let the slave movie win last year. Maybe let's just be white again. Assholes. But no, I mean, whatever. I mean, people have a conception of the Academy that's like 10 white dudes in a room that kind of decide the fate of Hollywood. It's not so. It's a really overly complicated voting process by many different sectors and guilds, and it's just overly complicated. So I think it's kind of luck of the draw. I don't think there's an MO or anything like that. So I mean, I can understand. I express disappointment of lack of diversity, but I would not say it's intentional. Absolutely would not. Some other David Owailio for Selma, also not nominated, playing Martin Luther King Jr. Kind of left out of the curve there. Jennifer Aniston for Cake. I wasn't quite sure that she'd be nominated, but she had a lot of buzz, so it's a little bit surprising. Jessica Chastain for Best Actress for A Most Violent Year. She was getting a lot of good reviews. Gone Girl only got one nomination. That's it. I think I'd get a little bit more, even for like the music. I think Atticus Ross and whoever else, that guy from that band would be nominated, but not so much. Probably, I would say the biggest blow to me personally, Life Itself, not nominated for Best Documentary Feature. I thought it was a lock to be nominated, so it's disappointing. It's devastating, really. I mean, I thought that was such a wonderful, moving, joyous documentary. That was so well done. I would categorize it among the best films of the year is on my list. But it was snubbed, so that sucks. But I'm sure the other nominees, which I haven't seen, are good. But yeah, my thoughts on the Oscar nominations: pretty good array of movies this year. I don't agree with everything, but you're never going to agree with everything. But the thing is, this always happens. You're always going to be like, oh, he so-and-so was snubbed when the announcements are first made. But then, as the ceremony approaches, it's more about, okay, who's going to fucking win? And then after that, it's like, who should have won? What mistakes did they make this year? So it's kind of fun. Whatever. But yeah, that'll be it. So hope you enjoyed watching this, of course, characteristically long, rambling video. This year I want to do what I did last year, 31 days of Oscar, so I want to do reviews of Oscar-nominated and winning films, so look out for that soon. Until then, comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you later.